let's do this. Is John Q emotionally effective? All right, I want to know if John Q is emotionally effective. Yes or no? Did you cry with John Q? That's what I want to know. This movie. Now, I want to look up the definition of effective. Effective is an adjective describing something that successfully produces a desired result. It means an action, strategy, or subject works exactly as intended and makes a clear impact. The term can also denote that a rule or contract is actively enforced. Effective. It means an action, strategy, or object works exactly as intended and makes a clear impact. So, this movie is going to be John Q, 2002's John Q. Um, to speak about a movie being, emotionally impactful would be an understatement. I'm going to take a look at the movie, but I wanted to look up the word effective for you to let you know that that's what it means. So, James Woods, Denzel Washington, all right, John Q, 2002. John Q is a 2002 American thriller crime drama film directed by Nick Cavazos and written by James Kearns. It stars Denzel, Ray Liotta, James Woods, Anne Heche. Now, this movie generally received generally negative reviews from critics because of its commercial success, grossing $102 million on a $36 million budget. Did you guys hear me? Yeah, this exactly sounds like YouTube. It received generally negative reviews from critics. It was commercial success. Yes, it was. According to the commentary in the deleted scenes with Nick Cavazos and writer James Kearns, the main theme of the movie was said to be about a miracle and John's faith in God creating the miracle. They also mentioned how SWAT team members advised the film related a similar true incident at St. Michael's Hospital in Toronto, where a man, Henry Mazuka, took an ER hostage after it would not provide immediate services in its son on New Year's Eve, 1999. When he exited the ER, he was shot and killed and found to be carrying an unloaded pellet gun. Wow. The film was released on February 15th of 2002 by New Line Cinema in the United States and Canada. John Q grossed $71.81 million, 30 million in other territories for a worldwide of 102.2 million. It's a budget of 36 million. Open at number one its first 5 consecutive weeks in the top 10 at the domestic box office. But look at this is probably the only time I'm gonna mention, Rotten Tomatoes or the reviews. So on the review agitator or aggregator website, Rotten Tomatoes, 26% of 133 critic reviews, guys, are positive. All right, with an average rating of 4.5 out of 10. The website reads, Washington's performance rises above the material, but John Q pounds the audience over the head with his message. Huh. Interesting. I was just reading this review here, this negative review metric, Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 30 out of 100, based on 33 critics, indicating generally unfavorable reviews. Generally, what about the favorable? Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on an A+ to F scale. I told you, fucking guys. Look at all these fucking critics on no shit. Owen Gilberman of Entertainment Weekly gave it a C, stating that Cavazos thinks he's making a dog day after that with a cause, but all he's done is to reduce everything he touches to a shrill, dictatic cartoon. The legacy. The film incited fear in the healthcare industry of copycat incidents by disgruntled patients. After the killing of Brian Thompson in 2024, this film was mentioned in a number of articles about the incident. Hmm. This movie is shitting on Dog Day Afternoon, everybody. So that critic is fucking nutball, dumbass, fucking nostalgic piece of ass. It's because Dog Day Afternoon is ass, and I love Al Pacino. Not that shit. Piece of shit. So John Q is going to be the most effectively emotional movie. Um, Let me go through this in Wiki real quick and give you the scenes here. So, John is going through a hell of a time. He works at a plant and his car is repoed. And, the opening shows you a lady being killed, and you'll see how that actually entwines. Hello, hey, AK Agme. Hi, do you know a movie called Tat Tatsatu? Tatsatu? Sugriva. Do you know Sugriva? Do you know these movies? Thathasu? And yes. These are movies based on the movie that I'm talking about as the most made me cry. This movie. This guy. What they did with Tatsus and Surgavia did. Thathasus. They do what John Q does. So I see that these films were remade in India as the Hindi language in 2006, and also the Tamil language in 2023 in the film Tamil Rasan, a 2023 Indian Tamil language action thriller film directed by Babu Yaksawarn and produced by NSS Productions Company. The film stars Suresh Gopi, Vijay Anthony, and Sanu Sood. The music was composed, that. So this is like that movies, what I'm talking about. Sorry, I have to say I love your glasses. Look great on. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Awesome. You're so nice. You're so kind. Thank you. So kind. Thank you. AK. Thank you. AKA, give me everybody. Thank you very much. But yeah, this movie is just like those movies are just like this movie. It's very emotional. It made me cry. You're about to make me cry being so nice, AK. Thank you. AK, give me thank you. But the great Anne Heche. Anne Heche. Yeah. She's in this, guys. Rip to her. She died in a car accident out here in America. Drove her car high speed into a house. And she died. But she didn't die instantly. So yeah, but thank you, AK. Thank you, AK Gimme, for coming and being so kind and nice. Really appreciate it. We're talking, like I said, John Q and those movies just like it. The universal language would be love here, and he loves his son. His son almost drops dead from a heart problem, and he needs a new heart. And he needs a heart transplant. John's insurance won't cover it. AK Gimme says, sad, hate to see car crashes. Yes, me too. Yes, me too. And, the car crash happens at the beginning here with this girl, too, in this movie. So, but yes, me too. But however, the couple behind that, okay, so, he's got to do something, AK. He's got to do something to get the money for his son's transplant for his new heart. He sells, what I like about this film is that John Q is willing to sell every single item that he owns to raise the money, including his wedding ring, his TV, his refrigerator, guys, his washer and dryer. John sells everything but the kitchen sink, pretty much, in his house. I don't think he owns the house, so he can't sell the house, right? He's selling everything in the house that he owns. Even his wedding ring off his finger. All right? So John is serious. He's dead serious. He wants to get some water. Hello, Denwell Laville. Hello. Hi, Dan. Right, Dan? Sorry, Dan. Dan Newville? Hi, Dan. 2626, how are you? We're talking John Q, and we're talking the Hindi movies as well. I don't know if you know them. Based on John Q. Fatsutua and Sugriva. And Tamil Rasan. So, yeah, we're talking these films. This is an American film just like that. And it makes me cry very, very much. And yeah, what happens is he needs a heart. The son needs a heart. He sells everything he owns. So, but thank you for coming in. Appreciate it, Dan and AK. And he sells everything he owns. And it still isn't enough money for the transplant. So John, his wife calls him on the phone from the hospital, basically from Daniel's hospital bed. Is that his name? Danny? What's his fucking name? Come here, Danny. Oh, Daniel E. Smith as Mike. Or he's Mike. Excuse me. His real name is Daniel. His Mike. It's Mike, guys. Mike. AK says, geez, selling everything and still not having enough is just heartbreaking. Yes. Yes. The thing about this is, AK, the healthcare system, his government, his government is supposed to help him and his son or anyone that's in trouble. The government refuses to help. So that's when he starts to sell everything. And then he still doesn't have enough money. And that's when he takes matters into his own hands and decides he has to take the heart by force and force these doctors literally to, give his heart and give his son a new heart somehow. Just go in there and order it and demand it by force, by violence, if necessary. And this is where he resorts to violence and to committing a crime. It's always the old question, AK, right? Is it better off? Thanks for voting. No. Is John Cleaver emotionally effective? No. Thanks for voting. Appreciate it. We're going through this movie and why it's emotionally effective. To date, one of the most. But he takes the gun, and little do we know, the gun isn't loaded. But you don't know that. So you don't know. Yes. Should I give it a watch? I heard a lot about it. Yes, AK. I'm sorry I'm spoiling the movie for you, but yeah, this is it's a 2002 movie, so it's very old. It is at least 24 years old, right? So it's a very old movie. But yes. Watch the Hindi ones. They're good too, it looks like. But yes. So he goes, and like I said, we're spoiling the movie, man. So he goes to, basically to the hospital with a gun, but it has no bullets in it, see? So his intention is really to use the gun as a ploy, as a scare tactic to get the doctor to do what he wants. And this is a special heart doctor, who operates specifically on heart. Spoilers wouldn't make me cry with the plot. I'm so all right with that. Thanks, AK. Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you for being honest. Appreciate you keeping company. Thank you. It's awesome to hear you. AK, everybody, you give me in the house. Hope I'm saying that right. I put the phone down because I use my hands for a minute, get a drink, I still hope you can hear me. But yeah, give me. This, what I'm telling you, is nothing like this movie affects you more emotionally than, I'm telling you. It really does. So, the music is great too in the movie. So I can't sing the music to you, but it is great. Thanks for the like. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for voting as well. I really appreciate your time. And the great conversation. So, AK, so what happens is, he goes to the hospital. He finds this heart doctor, who is James Woods, a well-known American actor out here, and an old dude. And he gets the guy, and he tells him, "You're gonna give my son a new heart or whatever." He says, "My wife telling me you're gonna release my son and not give him a new heart." And then the doctor says, "Well, Yeah, that's true. He's going home. There's nothing we can do. There's not enough money, basically. And Denzel ain't having it. Denzel Washington here, Mr. John Q himself, pulls out the gun, the pistol, and he puts it to the chest or the back or whatever of the doctor, and he says, walk with me, we're going to give him a new heart. So basically he walks into the hospital with the doctor's hostages. He takes a couple hostages. Everybody starts to flee as soon as they see the gun being held to James Woods, the cardiologist, the doctor. Everybody runs. Whoever's left behind is caught. A few people that you'll know here and there. But anyways, they're caught. And that's it. This is where the story goes. This is where it begins. Oh, thank you. Thank you, AK. I love the way you tell the story. Keep it up. Thank you, AK Gibby. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm sorry. I'm a little tired than usual. Usually I'm more spunky. But thank you very much. Thank you. So yeah, I love reliving it. I love reliving it. So we're not even right to the halfway point. So that you're stuck here with John Q, Mr. Denzel Washington, with a bunch of hostages. Now these people have different wounds and different. They're going through different things in their life. So John, just like John is, you know. So they're all in a room in a hospital going through outer wounds, physical wounds, but they also have emotional wounds. So they're going and they're sharing that as you go through this journey of John talking to the police outside. Now you asked the real reviewer, who is the police, right? AK, who's the police? Well, man, this is none other than Robert Duvall and Ray Liotta. You know, peace to them both. They both passed away. You know, Robert Duvall, I think just this year, and Liotta a few years ago. But they can't get along on how to handle Mr. Denzel Washington, how to handle John Q. You know, he's got hostages, and basically he's telling him he wants a new heart for his son, and people are gonna die if he doesn't get it within a few hours or whatever, a certain time. So they're fighting. You know, AK, they're fighting. They're saying, listen, we want to storm. Ray Liotta, one of the cops, wants to storm right away. He wants to storm it. He wants to send in massive cops. He wants to take him out, you know? Take him out. But Robert Duvall, the older one, the more clear, calmer, is saying, listen, we can talk this guy down. You know I can talk him down. Give me the time. So Liotta says, fine, he gives him the time. But really, he doesn't give him the time. What he does, AK, is he ends up going behind the back of that cop, of the older cop here, and sends in a sniper, basically an assassin, through the air vent. So they get John on the phone with his son, and it's now listen, I'm not gonna glaze at this point. So the point where he gets his kid on his son on the phone, and he's talking to him, is when the sniper's trying to line up the shot in the vent. So you're hearing him talk to his son, but here's the thing about the conversation. The news van outside is tapped into this conversation, and they're actually tapped into not just the audio feed of the police, but also the video feed. They have a video feed going from the sniper, I believe. So he has so they're tapped in, they're hacked in 2002. And they're broadcasting this all over. Basically, it's not the internet then, it's the TV. And everybody's, oh my God, they're watching this shit like never before, unfold like an action movie, like a hostage movie. But the point of this conversation, of course, is to get John distracted, to shoot him and kill him. But man, I'll tell you what, AK, the conversation with his son is literally dying, and he's gonna start crying, man. It's like he's talking to his son. I saw this movie, I didn't have kids. I have children now, everyone, but you don't have to have children, AK, to feel this movie. And I didn't at the time. And I was just like, what the fuck? You gotta know, this loves someone as much as John Q does. And yeah, man, he's talking to him, and he's telling him, hang on. He's like, did you find me a new heart? And his dad, and Denzel, it's hard for him to answer. And he's like, yeah, I found you a new heart. And it's all lies. It's all lies. It's all, you got to lie to your kid. And I don't lie to my kids. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't lie to them like that. Like, he's got to. He chooses to. I don't know. Guys, we've got to go deep in psychology on this. I can't do that right now, AK? It's a deep movie. So he decides to lie to his son, but he's not lying because he's going to do it. Like, guys, you're going to see he's not lying, and that's what it is. He's not lying, AK, because he's got a plan, okay? He's got a plan B. So he's got a guaranteed foolproof plan. So what he does is tell the kid he's gonna live. It's all good, but they try to shoot him right then. Boom, they miss. They miss John Q. They thought they got it. They miss. John switches the tracks on him. You know, he flips the script, and he beats the shit out of the sniper, rips him out of the fucking ceiling, beats the hell out of him, and he's got another hostage. He brings the sniper outside. He says, "You're trying to kill me in front of the cameras. You're trying to kill me." All America saw this attempted murder, basically assassination of John Q, just trying to get a heart for his son. And yeah, you know, now they can't go in. Now they definitely can't go in. So he goes to the old dude. Ray Liotta goes to Robert Duvall, the old guy, and he says, "All right, dude, you're calling the shots. I fucked up." And I like that part, you know? He's like, "I fucked up. You got it." He's like, "My bad." He's like, and the old dude's like, "It's all good, Holmes." He's like, "You just buy me a steak dinner, you know?" And he's like, "All right." You know what I mean? So that's cool. He's like, "You just buy me dinner and we're straight." I have to. Yeah, AK says, "I didn't watch the movie, but just voted yes because it sounds sad." No, I appreciate it, Chunky Bush. It is sad. Yes and no there, 50-50 split there. Thank you, though, for voting. It is sad. You watch this and come back on the stream, you know? Mm-hmm. Leave a comment later. Tell me what you think. But what happens is he brings the cop out, and he has the gun to him. And it's a famous scene in the trailer, guys, everywhere with this movie. He brings the cop out, and the cop's all, like, all scared shitless, literally, that John Q's going to blow his head off. He's a live wire, and he's saying, "Give me back my son. I want my son." We'll watch. Yeah. So right at the end, I'm going to spoil it for you. I'm sorry. If you want to leave and not hear it, I'm sorry. I had to do this stream, AK. I got plenty of other streams on my channel. I'm demonetized on the YouTube, so, you know, I've been demonetized for 4 years. So, yeah, I'm trying to, you know, just trying to do what I love. But, yeah, you're great. I love you, AK. Thank you, AK. Gimme. This was fun. But what happens next here is the end of the movie. So we're right at the end of the movie now. So they're going to wheel in his son to John Q, to Denzel. They're going to bring his actual son into the actual hospital that he's at, which is very close, and they wheel him in. Now, what I did glaze over and gloss over is the whole time there is connections being made between these hostages and John Q, all right, and each other. So there's some shit being sorted out. But it's just, what it is filler, you know? But what your main focus here is getting to this point. So you're at the point where John has no heart. AK Gimme says, "You honestly should get more views and subs. You're underrated." Thank you. Thank you. Don't make me cry. Thank you, AK. Thank you, AK Gimme. Oh, you make me cry. I try so hard for so many years. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you loving it. I try so hard, and sometimes I don't know if I gotta stop. Sometimes I want to, you know how it is in life, right? You don't know what you are or what you know. Thank you so much. I try so hard. Thank you, AK. I feel like I'm underrated sometimes, you know. Definitely, 100%. A little bit more my way would be nice, right? A little bit more attention would be cool. That's all. Maybe a little more for, a little more from YouTube, right? A little more algorithm would be nice. Thank you, AK Gimme. AK Gimme, everybody. Making this live. I didn't expect this. And AK Gimme comes in and makes this lively. So thank you for doing that. This is why I'm here, to communicate with the people. You know, that's what. Yeah, I'm a person too. You know, I'm like you, so I want to speak about movies and talk about everything. So movies and entertainment, or review everything. So thank you, AK. Without judgment, we do it. You know, without judgment. So yes, you're wonderful. It's a pleasure to talk to you tonight. Yes. So we're getting to the end of the film, right? AK Gimme says, "Thank you for the kind words." Yes, we all love movies. Yes, thank you. No, thank you for your kind words and for your attention tonight, and just for spending time with the Real Rent Reviewer here. And yes, movies save lives. They saved my life. They pull me through things, and they do still now. And they comfort me very much. So I don't like anybody desecrating my art or, lying about movies so that's what I see a lot of. And I want to set the record straight, on a lot of things. And if we love movies so much, why don't we actually YouTube about it more than once a month, once a week in a studio? You're in my life, with my family. I live with movies. We can watch them together. I'll fulfill requests. It's all good. Watch alongs. I do it all. Go to the movies. I plan on that, when I get some, hopefully some donations, hopefully in the past. But thank you, AK. Yes, yes, thank you. 100, yes. 100%. So The reason I'm doing, thank you, AK. You've been amazing. I look forward to the next. I can't wait. I don't even want to. 25 minutes has been a pleasure. It's been wonderful. My pleasure. My honor. Thank you, AK. Gimme, everybody. AK, gimme in the house. In the chat, lighting it up on fire. Man, you guys are missing out. I'm telling you. So yeah. So we're at the end of the film, but like I said, AK, this movie, as far as crying, as far as getting emotional, there is plenty of scenes to do that. Especially in the beginning too. And there's a scene where, you know, even if you're a softie, you know, this movie at some point is going to get you. But my whole point is going towards the end of this film is where it really hits home. Okay, there's a part here where, like I said, I didn't have kids at the time. I have them now, but either way, you don't have to have kids. Somebody you love, and they wheel him into the hospital, his son, and he has to talk to his son because what he tells the heart doctor says we don't have a heart. Right, the doctor's telling him it's the end of the film, and you know it's done. You know, it's like there's no heart, nobody's coming. You know, you do see this car crash, okay, in the beginning of the film, and you see them transporting a possible match heart. But the timing we're going to talk about why this is being shown and the timing of it. So you know possibility that Michael might get a heart, that Mike, his son, might get a heart. That's the name of his son, Mike. But Denzel, and his name is John Q. So John Q here, Denzel, beautiful speech, guys. Beautiful speech by a father. He tells James Woods, he tells the doctor, I'm going to cry, dude, because he tells the doctor, like the doctors, because everybody says God does death, right, takes this one. But anyways, he's telling, if he was supernatural, he's telling the force, whatever it is, the Grim Reaper, he's looking at James Woods like he's the Grim Reaper, like he's God, like telling him, you know, he's death. He's telling him, my son's not going to die, he's going to live, you know? He's gonna live. He's like, you gotta accept that he's gonna die. He's like, I don't accept that. He's like, I'm not gonna accept that. And the way he's saying everyone, he's gritting his teeth. He's, you know, Denzel is biting down on his mouth. He's angry, but he's emotional. Like the way this man is able to tap in to certain, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm getting goosebumps because, you know, you really gotta be something. Like you really gotta be doing this script in your house, like in a mirror, but really be like, I don't know, he's turning it on. It's unreal the way he does it, and he does it. It's in the trailer for this film, I believe, and he says my son's gonna live, you know, and then his doctor wants to know how does he know that, you know? He's telling him his son's gonna die right now. He's gonna die any second. And he's telling John, like, how do you know that? And John says, because I'm gonna give him my heart. This whole time, guys, that's the whole twist. AK Gibby says people are missing out on this stream. Thank you. Going live on movies, right? All right, yes, and I do it by memory, you know? I do a little wiki there just to hold it in case I want to reference some, but it's not needed. We do it right off the dome, right? Right off the top, right off the heart. Literally, he needs a new heart. We got heart, right? People need new hearts. But thank you, AK. You flatter me so much. I love it. Thank you. I love to hear these words. I never hear them. So thank you. Thank you. Really. Sorry, you're getting me so excited. So, wow. He's telling James Woods, AK. He's telling him, you know, and he's got a gun in his hand. Yeah, but that's besides the point. Where the force comes in and where the strength comes in and where the intimidation comes in isn't the gun in his hand. It is there, like he's waving the gun. The way he's doing the gun is intimidating, but it's a father's love for his son. He's not taking a no for an answer, and it doesn't matter. He says he's gonna take his heart. The whole time is the twist, AK, is his heart. His heart. The whole time is the plan is to do himself in, take himself off the earth, and give his heart to his son. Yeah, man, that's his whole plan this whole time. So him selling his stuff, right? Him selling all his possessions, him going and doing all this with the hospital, right? Was to avoid him doing himself, so that, you know, doing himself in, taking himself off the planet so that he could live it. You know, he wants to be with his son. He knows that if he's alive, he's better off being with his son, right? Than that, right? So he tried to do everything he could to avoid this last-ditch plan. So, yeah, man. So now it's come to this, though. What's that? Are you talking to me, Ronnie? What's up? Huh?
I'm making a video.
Okay.
Hi.
He's making a video. Yeah.
I'm making a video.
Okay. Okay. So he goes, um, so the whole time this is his plan, right? Now, AK, you know that that this is a possibility from the start of the movie that that he a father. We heard the story before, but if you were your brother or a cousin, you give a kidney, right? But a heart, you're not gonna live. Like basically, listen, it's the ultimate in love, the ultimate sacrifice. I don't, JC said it himself. I believe, whoever, anybody you believe would say that that's probably the ultimate sacrifice, is to basically sacrifice yourself for a stranger, let alone a family member, right? So, AK Gimme says, I would sacrifice myself to my son. I will bawl my eyes out watching this movie. Oh, wow. Yes, you will. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, you have to be ready. You have to be ready because what I'm telling you is nowhere near as effective and emotionally effective as this movie is visually. And hearing Denzel Washington, John Q, his performance is everything in this film. And that's all you're going to wait on. And that's all you're going to hold your hat on, is this man believing him. And you believe him. You believe him. You believe him. And you can relate, so it's really going to hit you. Yeah, you really got to be ready. So it's going to be really bad. It's going to be bad. So he, his whole plan was that, AK, okay? That's his whole plan the whole time. To avoid doing it was why he was doing all this. So really he had to save his son, but he was avoiding this last thing. So, okay, he's got to do it. So what happens is, you see the timing, though, of the heart being flown in. This woman that got in the car crash in the beginning of the film is a donator. She donates. She's an organ donor. So here comes the heart, and it's his blood type. It's Michael's blood type, we find out. They're rushing the heart, but they're setting up John Q for the kill, okay? And he's going to take the gun. He's going to put a bullet in it, because he did bring bullets, apparently. He just didn't put bullets in the gun. So he starts to load the gun when he's ready to do this. And they're like, you didn't have the gun load? They were like, no. He's like, the only person this is what he goes, the only person I thought that of hurting was myself. That's what he says. So the whole time, that's the whole thing. He always can, and that would be my thinking as well, honestly. I mean, I would try to scare tactic, but it just ain't enough, There's no miracles, right? There's no miracles, AK, but there is a miracle. There's a possible miracle. It's on the way. It's on the way to John Q and Mike, his son. But John is set up to die. So they get ready. They set him up on the gurney. He puts the bullet in the gun, the chamber. Oh, excuse me. Back up. Before he does the chamber, there's the most emotional scene in the whole movie, okay? I skipped over it. I can't believe I did this to you, AK. But this is it. So before he goes and loads the gun and lays on the gurney, before they start sending out the heart, he goes to his son to say goodbye before he carries out his self-murder, right? He goes to his son. His son is barely conscious, but conscious enough. But he's telling his son to listen, because his son can barely stay awake. He's so weak at this point. And yeah, that's it. That's the scene right there. So he talks to him. And the way he talks to him, all right, he's got to sum up life in 5 seconds. He's got to tell his son everything you would tell your son or daughter or whatever in a couple of seconds that you would tell them in their whole life. If you went their whole life with them, you'd have to tell them the lessons that you'd want them to learn or teach them within these few seconds. So he's telling his son, please stay awake. He's like, stay awake. It's something really important I got to tell you. And I feel that, I really feel that. So the tears come down Denzel Washington. Yeah, it's bad, AK. And the tears in Denzel's eyes are very, very thick, and they're fast. And AK Gimme says, I can't imagine myself in that situation. Yeah, it's a hell of a thing. But he's not afraid. Here's the thing about Denzel Washington, guys, and John Q, right, AK? He's not afraid. The fear is no fear of death. Of Mr. Denzel, Mr. John Q, no fear. He'll lay down his son for his life for his son. It's the fear of what's going to happen when he's gone. You know, if his son is growing up, you know, without him. So that's the problem. It's if Michael's going to be okay, not just when he has his heart, but afterwards, especially. That's the problem here. The worries with John, and you can see that Mr. Denzel John Q brings out those worries in this speech. I think it's one of the most underrated speeches in movie history. It's the most effective, one of the most effective speeches, probably top 10 I've ever listened to. And the way he starts it off, I can't get through it. I can recite it, but I don't want to, because I used to recite it and quote this a little bit, his speech. I don't want to do it because I can start crying. So I'm done. We're done with that, AK, you know? I love emotion and being emotional, but sometimes not in the fashion of, like you said, when you have things like, it's just a little, it's tough. It's tough to get through. He did it. Denzel did this scene, and he did it. And I'm happy he did it. And he says everything that a father or mother or whatever brother would want to say, a sister would want to say to their loved one, especially a father to a son. And that's that, you know, it's a very emotional, it's the most emotional, touching scene in the whole movie. And then it's the most emotional, touching scene I think I've seen in the last 25 years or something. I don't know. I don't know how he came up with that. I mean, the dialogue's good. It's great. It's wonderful. But the way that Denzel delivers this thing is powerful. See, you would call dialogue good, and then you would call a good actor who can deliver it makes it powerful. And that's when the performance becomes powerful. And then the speech and the regular words become powerful because it's who's delivering it and how it's being delivered to you. You know? It makes it feel powerful. Kind of like the real reviewer, right? Yeah, I understand you. Yeah, that's why I'm dwelling on that point. Because I want to like put down my thoughts for record, you know, for future reference. My kids could see it too. You know, what was a movie that emotionally that daddy made make daddy cry? Well, here you go. You know, John Q. Everything. So he sums it up, AK, right? He sums it all up. Greatest scene you're going to see. Then he lays down on the gurney, like I said. He loads the gun, lays it down. Everybody doesn't want John to do this. Everybody doesn't want John to do this, except for Eddie Griffith, or like Eddie Griffith is a comedian. He is he's there. One of them says, I respect it, basically. A couple of them like, I respect it, you know? That's what I would do. Do it. But this Eddie Griffin idiot says, what do you think Mike would do? You know, and it's like, what? And then he goes, Denzel says, well, Mike is too young. I'm his father. I know what's best for him. That's true, but it's like, what do you mean? What do you think Mike would want? He wants to live, you idiot. Like, seriously, I'm sorry. I'm getting ranty, but I am the real viewer. Like, this guy, Eddie Griffin, is like, what do you think Mike would want? He doesn't want you to off yourself, like, whatever. No, he wants to live, though, you know? His son doesn't have a say. He's right. His son, though, would want to live. He wants to live. And that's what Denzel tells him. He's going to live. And Denzel's ready. Here's the scene where Denzel's going to do it. He's got the weapon to his head, and he's going to pull it. He's going to pull it. But before he does, he says, oh, I'm thirsty. Like, he starts licking his lips, and he's like, I'm thirsty. Very good addition to that, everyone. I think the last person that said that before death was Jesus Christ, quoting the Bible, I am thirsty. Give me something to drink or something. He was thirsty before expiring and taking his last breath before dying. Yes, he was thirsty. I heard people do get thirsty before experiencing death. So possibly that's what was happening there. And all of a sudden, you know, his wife is running to the door of the hospital to tell him that the heart has been found. It's a match. He did it. It's been accomplished. It is over. But then you don't know if he did it or not, because they cut away from John after that, and you don't know if it happened or not. And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that, AK, until you see the rest of this film. You got to see what happens after that, okay? And that is how the film, you know, basically, I'm going to cut it there for you. Because, AK, I feel bad. I don't want to ruin the rest of this movie. You need to tune in, right? And see, get surprised somehow. I feel bad spoiling this if you're going to see it. It's very easily obtained to be seen. So that's where I'm going to stop. There is about 10 more minutes of the film I did not cover. And that is the end. Yeah, so that's it. There's nothing else to speak about, you know? There's his wife. His wife, excuse me. His wife, everyone. I like the wife. She's in another movie with Denzel called The Manchurian Candidate later on, okay? But Denzel has this wife. AKA Gimme says, I put a follow, I will watch the movie and we can maybe talk about it a little next stream. Yeah, that's what I do. Yes, AKA Gimme, I'm streaming every day for the month of July, every day nonstop. When I have a stream or thought, I come right on. It could be night, it could be day. So yeah, I don't want to annoy you with the notifications, so turn it off if you want the bell, you know? But I'm demonetized on here. I'm just flying on here anytime I want to get into the algorithm, you know? Like you said, to get those views and stuff. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, and when you watch the movie, let's go another one. Yeah, let's talk about it, please. I would love to. If you leave a comment on this live stream, I can voice back to you on the comment instead of typing. I can voice to you if you like. But I would love to speak about it more. Yes, on a live stream. Heck yeah. I had a great time with you tonight. AKA Gimme, everybody. You know, holding it down for John Q and the Real Reviewer chat. Really appreciate it, AK. Wonderful. Yes. Yeah, so I want to leave that, if that's all right by you, AK, I wanted to leave the rest of that 10 minutes to you, okay? So you can have something to talk about, right? And be surprised, but hey, reviewer, and tell me the truth, you know, if it didn't make you cry, if it wasn't watchable, if you couldn't finish it, you know, tell me the truth, you know, I'm fine with that. I don't mind at all. That's why I'm here. I want no judgment here. I'll feel the same way about a person, you know, just because they don't like vegetables, you know, and I do. I'm not going to be judgmental. We all have different tastes. That's why I'm here. I have all kinds of tastes. Check the channel, right? I have all 1.4K videos, mostly movie reviews. Yeah, it's a lot of movies in a little time. So I have a lot more in my head. But yeah, I'll leave that to you, AK. And at the end of there's other things about the film. Great acting, of course, and good music to add to it, but there's other things. But I said the wife. I wanted to mention the wife because she's pushy to John. You know, I know she's a grieving mother. They do show a scene where she's working and like as a waitress, but she said she only just started a few weeks ago. So like John's been working at this plant for over 20 years. What has she been doing? Michael is only like 10 years old. You know, what the fuck was she been doing the other 10 years before Michael? I don't know, you know, but she's telling John, do something. And then she tells the police, I told John to do something, but I didn't think he'd do this. Well, what do you think he was going to fucking do? But Robert Duvall doesn't say that, you know, he just shrugs it off, but he doesn't tell her, you know, aka, hey, AKA Gimme says, I'm really sad having to say this, but I need to go. This was a really, really good stream. I enjoyed hearing you talk about the story. Have a nice day. We'll do this. Love it, AK. Thank you, AK. Gimme, everybody. AK, go ahead. Have a nice night. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm ending the stream anyways. Thank you, AK. Gimme. I'm going to go ahead and answer the question. Is John Q emotionally effective? 50-50 split. I say yes. That's why the stream is here. Thank you to AK Gimme for coming in and showing the love. And she's going to watch John Q. You're going to watch John Q. Come back. All right. Thank you, AK Gimme. Thank you, everybody that came in to speak about John Q and voting. So that's it. We're out of here. We're going to end the stream. And I really appreciate everybody's time for coming in. And like I said, I do recommend John Q as emotionally effective movie to date. One of the most, if not the most. Thank you to AK Gimme. The Real Review loves you. Thank you. I really do. Thank you so much for all the kind words. I'm out.